Here, hello.
Hello.
Putting my socks on. It's a little chilly out here. So, hi.
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 There.
Hi.
Yeah. Guess it's about to start. We could wait another minute. I asked for book suggestions last time, and or I sent an email, and we wanted to get the list going, so I picked. I guess it was in July or somewhere before when we started meeting again. I asked for what you guys had been reading, and so Christina and I looked at the list and selected a few for the next few months. But if you have any other suggestions, holler them out and we'll check them out and see if there's enough copies so we can put them on our list. The book for April will be the Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate, and that was already on the list. And then May, we are going to do the Dead Wake one, which goes into more of the Lusitania, background. So I thought that would be, some people thought that would be interesting. So we'll give it a shot, or you can just read a summary and pop in and see what you think.
Is there anybody that would like the Book of Lost Friends to be put on hold for you? Regular print, large print, audiobook on CD?
I would.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down. So who wants regular print? Elaine and Sally?
Yes.
Okay. And then anybody for large print? Okay. Anybody for audiobook on CD right now? No. Okay. So everybody else is covered some other way.
Are
Yeah.
they already there?
No, I'm just looking. Oh, I think Elaine, did we put one on hold for you already?
No.
I think no. Okay.
Oh, I don't
I
think
did that
so.
for somebody recently.
Okay.
Book of Lost Things.
Oh,
I don't think so. But you don't
And
already
got a
have
picture.
them.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's the Book of
cool.
Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate, though.
Yeah.
And
And
Yeah, that's why I was showing you. I didn't know if that
Oh.
was the one.
oh, yep.
Yeah, that's the
The
one.
Book of Lost. What's the Book of Lost Friends? Lisa Wingate, right,
Friends.
Nancy?
Yes, that's right. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
That
But
was
you
right.
don't have any
That
there
one.
yet, right, Christina?
Nope. That's why I'm asking.
That's it.
Who needs
Got
it?
it.
Yep.
Got it.
I don't want to order too many if we don't need that many. So
Yeah. Well, I could probably use another copy just to go over it
Okay.
again. Read it
Nancy,
once.
regular.
Yeah, that'd be
Yep.
fine.
Okay.
Whatever works. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Sounds
are
good.
there any other suggestions, or Christina, did you have any comments on that?
Yeah. So right now, we're set through July 13th, but it'd be good to get maybe August figured out too.
What did you say for May and June? I'm sorry.
May would be Dead Wake by Erik Larson. It's a nonfiction about the sinking of the Lusitania.
Okay.
And June is The Only Woman in the Room by Marie Benedict.
That's a good.
It's a historical fiction about Hedy Lamour and how she did a lot more than we thought. And
Nope,
The
it doesn't show up.
Keeper of Lost Things, July. The Keeper of Lost Things. That's by Ruth Hogan. But I can send this list out to you guys when
Sure.
after the meeting. And if you have any other suggestions, tell me now or tell us now so we can check on
Yeah,
them.
I do. I just
Thanks.
sent you and Christina an email with about 5 different suggestions.
Oh, great.
And Christina,
Yeah.
I was signed up for the ebook for the next selection, but
Oh, great.
I just checked and I'm 8 weeks out. So
Oh,
you
dear.
better add me to the list of
Okay.
print
Re-
copies.
A regular.
A regular, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. And I just copied and pasted into the chat to everyone the next 4, the dates as well as the titles and
Okay.
authors with each. So that's handy in here right now.
Yeah, I don't
Has
ever
anyone read The Vanishing
get
Half?
there. Huh, The Vanishing Half, no.
Anne, have you read that?
Yeah, I read it.
I
It's
thought
good.
it was good. Do you think it would be good for this group?
Yeah, if you want to, it's a good book right now. And since we're talking about diversity in, the United States, The Vanishing Half is a good one.
Excuse me, but have we read as a book club The American Dirt?
We did that in January.
Thank
Yes.
you. Okay,
Yeah,
I
we-
liked it, by the way.
Yeah, oh, good. Well, it was an eye opener, I thought. It was
Yeah, I
interesting.
loved it.
the
Okay.
background, but yes, we did that. Okay, any other suggestions?
Are we gonna try and do the Charlie Lovett book this year?
Well, I want to, but we don't have very many copies. What, Christina? Oh, she's looks busy.
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask, helping somebody at the self-check right now. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, okay. But
It was for sale as an ebook for like 99 cents for a while.
I know, yeah, I got a
I don't know.
copy.
I don't know if it still is.
I've got the hardcover and I could pass that on since I've got the ebook. So, you know, and we have, there's two, there didn't look like there were many copies in the library system. So I'm not sure how that would work, but we would love to do it. Maybe we
The
should
ti-
just set a time for him and just go for it, you know.
See
Sometime
when
after,
he's available.
yeah, sometime after maybe August or September.
What
Maybe
book is that?
What is the new, oh, Dreaming, something about, what's the title of his book?
Escaping Dreamland.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you could try and see if it's available in September and we'll just go for it and hope for the best. He's always interesting anyway, so he could,
At least sometime this fall. Yeah, I'll see what
yeah.
when he's available.
Is that the Charlie Lovett?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we decided we just kind of, Ann's gonna see if when he's available sometime in the fall, and we'll just go
Yeah,
for it. 'Cause
that's
I
a
don't
great
think we
idea.
have- How many copies in the system? I don't think there's much left there.
I can look. I know I got each of the versions that were available, at least for us. So
Okay,
if people wanted to start reading it, you know, ahead of time, that'd be a way to kind of parcel it out. I'm just going to look it up right now. The Escaping Dreamland.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. So it is, let's see here. On book, there's 2 copies. Us and Appleton own it so far. And then let me see here. There is also an audiobook version of it. My guess is we probably have the only one yet, but
Okay,
yeah, we only have the only one yet. I know that there was another Door County location that was looking at adding it to their collection, but I don't see it added in yet.
yeah, and I
But
have
maybe by
my,
then.
I have a
yeah.
hardcover that I would be glad to lend out to people so we could pass that around.
Mhm.
And
As do
Yeah.
I.
yeah, so I
And-
think we can do it by fall, so that would work
Yeah.
out.
If
And-
people wanted to start reading it now,
Yeah.
my copy, both of my copies are available, the print and the audiobook.
Okay,
They're here in the library right now. Yeah.
Linda?
I'll take a copy from someone.
Okay. Do you want me to just put the copy here on hold for you, Linda?
Yes, please.
Okay. Print or audiobook?
Print.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And what about that Vanishing Half title? Is that available? Do we think, would that be good for September since we want to get some more on the list?
Okay. I'm looking right now. So it does say it's an
Where's my library?
e-audiobook. There's large print if people would like. Probably about like 9 or so large print.
Oh, so we,
Let's see. And then I'm going to look in regular here. There's audiobook, regular book, and ebook in the regular print. Tons of copies,
okay,
easily 25 copies. A
So
lot of them, I will say you're, well, right now it's on a lot of new shelves. There's 56 people in line for it right now.
so if we waited till August, do you think we'd have a shot at it?
Yeah, August or this fall. And if you wanted to start getting on the list sooner, you know, than July, that would be smart. Just
Okay.
because it might get popular, you know, again over the summer too.
Yeah, the Vanishing
and-
Half, I know the ebook has a long hold because I've been on hold for that for a while.
Mhm,
But if you
Okay.
have Audible, it's in Audible.
mhm.
That's how I
and-
read it. I read it in Audible. or I listen to it in Audible.
And that works too, yeah. Okay, well, and Jean, did you have a special book on your list that you would want to recommend for August so we can get a couple more going here?
Well, I just kind of went through and talked to a friend who's a big reader and then looked at some websites of some book clubs. And The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is pretty popular now, but I thought that looked good. And then one that I was really intrigued with was The Beekeeper of Aleppo. And it was about a Syrian refugee family that found its way to England and kind of learned how to come back from the horror of their homeland being destroyed through the art of beekeeping that they learned through a relative that I thought sounded intriguing. So I sent 5 to
Okay.
you and to Christina just for consideration. But I know that Matt Haig one, The Midnight Library, I just got it as an ebook. And I've been on hold for quite a while for that one.
Okay, so it's pretty popular, so.
Seems
okay.
to be. So you just take a look at what I suggested and see if anything works.
I will pick something out, so, okay,
I'm
well,
looking at the Beekeeper of Aleppo right now, and there's a bunch of copies that are available, probably about a dozen. So that's definitely a good choice.
well,
And
do you
electronic copies too.
put that in for August, and then I'll check with Christina later and we'll work
Yeah.
out the list. How
Yeah,
about
Are we doing the Vanishing Half in August? Or did you?
that?
I think the Beekeeper probably is a better idea just
Yeah.
because Vanishing Half has so many holds and
Maybe we'll
Okay.
do that later, maybe do
Yeah.
that later and see when Charlie can visit with us, maybe, so, okay. All right, well, I think maybe we better start on the actual book for today. What are we doing? Oh, The Glass Ocean, yes. Huh. I thought this was kind of interesting that because there were 3 different authors, and evidently these 3 women who have done, they've done this before. I think they've done about 3 books together. And I was thinking that perhaps each one took a character and wrote, here and there, and did their own character and went all the way through and somehow interwove it. But I read an interview with all of them, and they said they won't tell. They said that they're not saying who did what, but they did confer with everything. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but I still think maybe they each did something. Yeah, I don't know how Aleppo is spelled. Oh, I did see that chat thing. Beekeeper of Aleppo. Jean, do you know how to spell that?
Aleppo.
With
Okay.
2 P's. Okay.
Would you do that again?
Aleppo.
Okay.
I just pasted it in the chat too. The Beekeeper of Aleppo, the title there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't see those chat things all the time. I don't know. Oh, well.
Down at the
Um,
bottom,
I don't know where they hide.
down at the bottom, it's got a chat, down at your bottom of your screen.
When I'm
Just-
on an iPad, so I think it's a different thing. It doesn't always,
Well, if
occasionally something pops,
somewhere,
but sometimes not. So anyway, well, so what was your feeling on this book? Did you like it or not?
I'm only halfway through.
Uh-huh.
I got
I
to
liked
chapter
it.
17 where they're trying to decipher the book
The code. Yeah.
code.
Yeah. Yeah. How-
I
Anybody
liked it. I thought it was good.
I loved the book.
who loved it?
I thought the best part to me at first was going to be who was going to sink the ship or how that was going to work. But indeed, what really captivated me during the whole thing was which woman was going to be with which guy in the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, that was all I waited for. That was,
There were a lot of connections there, and it was hard to decide who was gonna pick whom, so,
Yeah.
okay. Anybody else? Ruth?
I always have trouble with people making decisions. Carolyn, I love him. But I'm really to go the other way. And I know that her husband didn't fulfill everything, but I don't know, I had a hard time because she kept talking about that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
She wanted them both, Ruth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
That must have been-
It doesn't come that way generally.
But it did with her.
Well, yeah. But at the end, yeah, she had nothing, yeah.
Well, she had the baby, Robert's
Oh,
baby.
Yeah,
That's right.
true. That's true.
She had the
Ooh,
baby.
spoilers.
Yeah, I know, I was
Well,
thinking, yeah, that's too
They
bad.
don't really come out, they don't really come out and say that at the end. They say she has some eyes and some nose, but I'm not so sure, you guys. I don't know.
Well,
that
but she's a spitting image of Robert, the painting. But
That's true. That's true.
it is
There's-
true. You're right. But
I thought she was a spitting image of her mother.
yeah,
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
I
There was-
also had, I mean, I know these things are fiction, even though it's this historical fiction, but Robert just always seems to be right around the corner.
Oh, he was always there.
Oh, he was
you know.
ready.
So,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's like almost like he's stalking, but he's really a nice guy. So it's,
but the other part I enjoyed too is the way John all of a sudden in modern day, with Sarah, he was just so didn't want to be involved or didn't want to be noticed, and all of a sudden he let her in and he thought he could trust her. It's like, he knew he could give all his family history to her. I thought that was pretty cute.
I thought it was also nice at the very end of the book. I was really surprised because he stood up and asked the one question. I forget what it was, something about the book. Where she got the idea or the thought for the book. So she entered that one, but he said he had a second part. And right in front of everybody in that room, he said, will you forgive me for my being such a jerk? Will you have dinner with me? And I just thought that was really something for him to that out loud in front of all those people.
So romantic.
It was.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. What was that? 2 years later? It'd been a
Yeah,
while.
2 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting too. Yeah, there were a lot of good connections in that. I mean,
What I enjoyed a lot about this book, though, is their descriptions of everything, the clothing, the rooms, the places, the people. It was very descriptive. So it was a very, you could picture where they were and who they were with, and it was pretty fun that way.
yeah, the authors said that they really wanted to give everybody the feel of how elaborate the Lusitania, the ship was, and how the separation between the different classes, that was you don't always think about. But the first class, I mean, they were all privileged and had their own places, and the lower classes weren't even allowed up there on the good part of the ship. So I you don't think about that too often, or our sailing ship on a big experience. And I think they did a good job of giving all those details, which I found fascinating. And so that was a good way of putting their writing together. But I still want to know.
Excuse me,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just curious. How many of you have been on a cruise ship? Big, small, or anything?
Oh, a little riverboat.
Oh,
No.
Riverboat.
Okay, well, I don't mean, I'd love to do that, but I've never been on a riverboat, so I was pretty amazed. Oh yeah, we were on one in Russia. I wasn't impressed with that one. But we've done a cruise in Alaska, and yeah, it is very impressive. It's clean, it's lovely art, and the food is great, and so even if it's not the big ocean liner, you kind of get a taste of elegance,
Yeah.
if you're on one.
Well, and then what was Patrick? He was a steward or something.
Steward.
The head.
And I thought that was interesting occupation. I mean, you know, he was always there. He knew where their rooms were, and he could escort Carolyn to her music room, and so she wouldn't be alone. And I just thought he was always hovering too. He just kept popping up whenever you needed him. But I'm not sure I'd want people, you know, popping up like that all the time. But
Wasn't that his white Stewart thing was in the chest, right?
yes, that
Mhm.
was his information in that that was Sarah's great grand.
His white jacket, his white
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah, it's something was in that chest that she found. She wasn't supposed to open it, but she did.
It
So
was a note. It was a note.
oh, that
It
In the what?
had, what did it have on it?
At-
It
at
It was,
said, I can't go
wasn't it
on with this.
wasn't
it was
it-
Robert's thing,
and-
wasn't it?
right.
At the very end of like a daily thing, there was a little note there that he had written in.
Yeah, it was something.
Meet me on B deck or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Sarah knew to contact the Langford family, you know, for more information, because she wondered what the connection was between the two of them. And what did she ever find out what that was? Oh, sorry, Ann.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They investigated, and sorry, Ann, to screw up the book for you.
But you don't know how they get there.
Oh.
It's-
No, I figured I'd get some spoilers coming into this.
But they never really proved what the steward's deal, what his role was in all of it, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was passing messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what about the father, you know, was it Robert? I keep getting the names mixed up, but you know, that was on the ship, and Gilbert, you know, those two, what were they up to? There was something going on between them too.
They were spies.
They were really who was the good guy?
They both were, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were supposed to
Oh.
get the information that Gilbert invented that metal to the
That's
Allies,
right.
to the British. Yeah.
That's right.
It wasn't Robert supposed to kind of protect Gilbert?
Yeah.
So, but then Gilbert didn't know who he was supposed to protect until towards the end, because Gilbert was, I don't know, annoyed with him or jealous of him, and he didn't contact him. So he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. Yeah. Which I thought was strange.
Was it John who was supposed to make the contact with him? Or was it Gilbert that was supposed to make? I think it was
think
John who was supposed to make the contact, wasn't it?
I think it was Gilbert that was supposed to contact the other guy and let him know what he was doing, but they never did meet. They kept trying to meet, but they never got together. Yeah. So
You know, I know it's a work of fiction, but it's historical. How can you figure out how much is true and how much isn't? I mean, was there some plot and code and all that actually?
well, see, we're gonna find that out when we read the Dead
Yeah.
Weight book in a couple of months. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it always intrigues me about historical fiction, that I want to go back and find out what are the real facts, you know, what really did happen. So, but I think they still don't, well, I don't know. We'll have to read that other one. There may be something to it. You never know. So did you have a favorite character in this book? Did you like any of these people better than the other? Huh.
I
saw-
like Jones until she was a bad lady.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far. I knew she was bad. I knew it.
Sorry.
And let's
So is-
not tell her who
Yeah.
Jones is.
Yeah. Take your earphones off, Ann.
Tessa was so far. Tessa's my favorite character,
Yeah.
or whatever her real name is.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
just me, or did you all
Yes.
know that Jones was the servant for Caroline?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never knew that I didn't figure that out until the end.
She came in right at the beginning, before they left on the trip.
Well, didn't she kind of?
Well, yeah, but you didn't know
No,
who she was then.
No, Jones is, and shut up your ears.
No,
Jones is Tess's sister.
Yeah, Jones is Ginny, but I didn't know that
No.
until way at the
Oh.
end.
Oh, I didn't either. Yeah.
I didn't either.
I had to go back and
Okay, it's
reread the
okay
whole
now.
thing for hints.
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
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 But we knew that Jones was corrupt or whatever because
Yeah.
they did say she mysteriously came in to help being her lady's
Right.
maid or taking care of her.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you knew that something would be up with her. But I thought they did that pretty well.
I didn't know it was the sister until the very
Yeah.
end.
Oh,
I
didn't either.
missed it. I never knew. I never knew.
So it
I was intrigued by the knowledge that she had about being a lady's maid and knowing
Yeah.
just the fashion and knowing how to do the hair. And I mean, I
Yeah.
know she's a
She was
connoisseur,
around the block. I mean, she did a lot of things, you know, in her lifetime. You know, she did a lot of whatever she did illegally, but
Okay.
Yeah, they were con artists. Well, but they got that from their dad who just traveled around, doing, well, he was making money, but swindling people and or not exactly giving them what they thought it was. Yeah. But so she
I have a question.
sure.
I'm just blown away. You said Ginny was Jones's sister?
Yes.
and take
And
your things off.
Tess was also
Jones
Tess
was
was also
Ginny.
Ginny's sister,
Yeah.
right?
Jones is
Jones
Ginny.
is Ginny.
Jones
Yeah.
is Ginny.
Yeah.
Jones is Tess's sister. Okay, Ann, you can put your ears on.
No. God.
Well, that was her name when she had two names, right? Because
That
she
must be a big revelation to make Ruth do
It
that.
was.
Yeah.
It was. It didn't come to the end, and we don't want to spoil it for you.
You have to go and read that end again, Ruth.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Did Tess never encounter Jones? Because I mean, she talked about Ginny, but
She never knew where her sister was. You know,
Yeah,
she
I
was
remember
always
that.
looking
I
for her
remember
sister.
that. Oh
She
my
figured-
gosh.
she didn't figure that out till right at the end. I think when the ship was sinking and they were.
Oh. Ann's gonna hear it.
Uh-oh.
Well,
All
I
right,
know
she's
that the
gonna read
ship
fast.
sinks.
Yeah. Oh, and then Tess and Carolyn were together, weren't they? Weren't they kind of escaping together to the? Why was that? Tess followed Carolyn down. I don't know, and I remember them getting their life jackets on or something, but somebody got knocked out. Who was it that got knocked out? Was
Tess.
That was
Tess?
Gilbert.
By Jones.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought she fell over when the ship got hit.
Yeah, I
No.
thought they fell. Yeah, that's right. I think she fell. Yeah,
Okay.
Fell over and hit her head. Yeah.
yeah.
But Jones didn't help her.
No.
She went away. Yeah, she went away with her. She was escaped. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Caroline helped her then.
But why did Caroline help her? Why was that? That seemed unlikely to me. I wasn't sure.
The connection with Robert, because Robert was nice to Tess.
Yeah,
Tess
Yeah.
kind of had a thing for Robert, and Caroline could see that.
Oh,
And
she-
that's the connection.
okay, so she saw that. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't, it didn't seem likely. I couldn't understand why Carolyn was helping Tess, but maybe that was why, or she was there. They were just trying,
They were-
yeah. And they needed their life jackets and things, yeah. And that was another thing. When I was reading stuff, the life jackets for the first class people were better ones. And the people in the lower classes didn't have the new life jackets that were more supportive or anything. And I
Well,
thought
it's like the Titanic, right? There weren't
Yeah.
enough life vests on board even for the lower class people on the Titanic.
yeah, one had enough on board, but it was just that they were different kinds for the different classes. I mean, the first class got the better, newer variety that kept you upright in the water. The other one you could.
And don't you think for some reason, and this even I know the Lusitania sank after the Titanic, but
Right.
I think they still thought they were never going to need them.
Well, that they didn't think. Remember, they had warned in the newspaper before the Lusitania took off. There was an article in the paper that said, you know, don't do this because there's a war going on and you're in danger. They thought that the ship would be safe because there was an unwritten rule during the First World War that the passenger liners would not be
Well,
attacked.
and that there were Americans on the ship.
Right.
If there were Americans, they thought, oh, they're not going to
They're safe.
torpedo the ship. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I don't know. Well, I guess they were all very trusting of that
Yeah.
security.
I don't think they were all totally trusting. There was some worry there, but they were hoping for the best. Because remember when they got into sight or came into the Irish Sea, there was almost a beginning of a sigh of relief, like, whew, I think we might have made it.
They
Yeah.
have the guards at that point too.
Didn't they learn
Help make
anything from the
sure.
Titanic? I mean, really. Titanic sank before the Lusitania sank.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And you know what else I thought was interesting? When they had the drills about moving the boats, you know, getting them the lifeboats,
Yeah.
that all seemed so clumsy and awkward. And I mean, that was hard for me to believe that.
And the passengers weren't included. They were
No.
not how to do it. They were left out of it. It's like, really? That
No,
really helped.
but even the lowering of the boats, you know, I mean, the ropes got
Did I-
tanked.
Yeah.
In the drills, they didn't do a good job. Yeah.
Right.
But when you're on a cruise ship today, do they give you, did you
yeah.
go through those
Oh,
drills?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Called
they-
muster
Nothing to
drills.
do with- Nothing to do with the boats, though. You just go out on the deck or to some station.
Oh,
Yeah,
you don't.
you
and the-
know,
Yeah.
you're told where to go, how to go, and then they talk about the life preservers, how to put them on, you
Hmm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that happens right after you're on the ship. I don't even think you leave the port before they do that.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea. Well, the other thing with the lifeboats on the Lusitania, after it was torpedoed, the boat tilted. And so all the lifeboats were hanging, they weren't
True.
hanging straight up and down, they were tilted. And
Right.
they weren't going to work right. And you couldn't even get into some of them. So they were going the wrong way. So, which was not funny, but anyway, that's what happened. So I don't know. There were lots of characters in here. Yes, Sarah. I liked Sarah, and when she saw John, and that was kind of unlikely though too. I thought, what did she do? She just went up and excuse me, something's making noise. Turn it off. How did Sarah and John meet after she got to England? Was she chasing him around or something? Oh,
Yeah,
It
she
was-
was stalking him in all the coffee shops.
coffee shop. Yes. But then he didn't. He didn't want to talk to her until. Why did he come back and talk to her later? What happened? How did that happen?
Because he
After she
thought he
wrote-
could trust her.
Somebody talking? Elaine, did you have something?
No,
to
I
say?
was just saying that that's what I thought was interesting is how he didn't want to deal with her, but then he did. But then he felt like, he said the first day he met her, he knew he could trust her.
Why was that, do you think?
I don't
They
know.
drink the same coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's right. They did.
Or-
order
Or
coffee.
she was probably pretty cute.
Love at first sight.
But she wasn't trying to interview him about the trouble that he was in right at that moment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's true. She wasn't gonna check with him about all that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought their chemistry was kind of interesting. It was just, you could see things happen but he was trying to keep his distance and
Yeah, I liked their gentle sparring. I thought that was just fun. That's kind of my nature to begin with, but and then the British terms, like if someone you fell down and got my pants dirty, those are trousers.
Yeah.
You know, and you
oh,
got
yeah,
Yeah,
and
was
that
cute.
came up a few times, which again I loved.
yeah. Where she would say the wrong word that, you know, for in his idea, is in his mind. Yeah, that was kind of cute. But no, that I like the relationships, but you're right. There were many, there were three of them. Three. You didn't know about Carolyn and Gilbert and Carolyn and Robert or John and Sarah and then there was Tess. Tess was in there too with Robert.
Oh,
So
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Because,
there
because Tess and Robert were in the end. Whoops.
And John's ex-wife, right?
oh yes, I forgot about her. That
That
Oh,
showed
Callie.
up randomly. Callie,
Ca-
yeah.
Yeah.
That the housekeeper couldn't stand.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and the housekeeper couldn't see very well either. And when she saw Tess the first time, she thought she was the other one
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
attacking her with the broom. That was
Yeah.
there were some humorous
Yeah.
parts in there. I enjoyed that. Here's a question: was the Lusitania a backdrop or a character in the story?
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, good question. What are you gonna think?
Backdrop. They could have made up some ship that had, a similar situation happen to it. So I think it's just a backdrop.
Probably.
it was an elaborate backdrop though. I mean, they were very good at details, even with like, aside from, all the dresses that the women were wearing and everything, they also described the boat, the cruise ship really well.
Yeah, you could really see that. Now I really want to see some pictures though, but you could really, I thought I would agree, they also did a good job of describing everything in there. But when the authors were asked this question, they said they wanted to write the historical truth of what it was like to be a woman on board the ship. I mean, Carolyn was always changing clothes to go to different functions. Who would want to take all that clothes? Well, they'd have giant trunks, I suppose. But all that changing clothes would have taken a long time. But so that was, she said the characters were intertwined with the ship and vice versa. We think of it was both a character and a backdrop. So, because it was an important part. So, but you certainly got the feeling of the way life was on the ship. And oh, what about that? The one humor part was that lady that thought she could sing. Remember she?
Oh, is that Mary Ann?
painful.
What's her name? Mary Ann or Mary?
Oh,
There was
and
Marjorie.
Marjorie?
Marjorie.
Yeah.
Marjorie Schuyler something.
Who was her sister?
Oh, yeah.
Skylar, yeah. The
Schuyler.
Schuyler sisters.
But the strange thing is, I think I read another book that these three authors wrote just after this one, and some of the characters turn up in there. It's set in England, and this Marjorie Schuyler turns up in there, but she's an old lady trying to write her memoirs, or she's trying to tell everybody about her story. And then one lady says, why don't you just write it down? So then she gets a typewriter and it was something about a hotel in Paris. It was pretty good. But it was odd that a few of the characters kept popping up. I think there was a Langford in there too. But that Marjorie Schuyler was she the one that had the sore on the mouth, or was that the sister? Which one? Yeah.
Marjorie.
The singer did, yeah.
I thought, didn't the singer have a sister? Weren't there two of them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sister-in-law, wasn't it?
sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Sister-
That's it.
Yeah,
sisters.
Yeah, that's right. But they were they were the humorous ones in the group. I thought that was the humor, the light. lighter part of it, but they,
Yeah. I
yes.
love the part where the singer challenged Carolyn
Oh, yes.
about not playing in the right key, and she said, "I'm in the right key, you missed the F sharp," or something like that.
Or if you could just sing in the right key too, she said.
Yeah.
Or she said she'd move it down so it would sound better for the lady, but that was something. I don't know.
Do you know historically was Strauss involved in espionage?
I don't think so. They asked the question about the forgery thing. I guess it was. They talked to the authors about that, and they said that they first because Tess was the forger and she could do paintings, but they said it would take too long for her to copy a painting on the ship. So they made music. They decided on the music. So I don't think that had anything that Strauss himself, I mean, that was really involved. But they made it a music piece because that was more believable that Tess could copy that, you know. And but that's a good question. We might find out more later.
Yeah.
What about the formula for the improved metal, the formula that Gilbert had? Is there any basis in fact for that?
You know, I didn't look that part up either. But
Well, you know, what they said on the Lusitania, though, that I think in reality, there was a bunch of what they say, small ammunition on the ship.
There was ammunition, yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was related to that.
He came up with a formula that was going to improve helmets and all
Right.
sorts of things.
It's
Yeah.
stronger than helmets, yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to research that and I didn't, to see when that actually, if that actually was a thing. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
true, yeah.
Post Sally, that's your assignment for next time. You can look it up and let
Okay.
that's not
FE something or other.
when I read that, but I didn't get around to looking it up. Yeah, but there was some sort of arms or small something that they were shipping on the Lusitania that was kind of a secret, I think. And they were really supposed to be doing that because it was a cruise ship. And I'm not sure, it kind of, I think I might have read someplace that was a practice and the, you know, if they could get away with it, but I'm not sure that really happened.
What I had read too is that they thought, you know, that there was only one torpedo that they say actually hit the ship, but they thought there was 2 explosions, but they said the ammunitions or munitions or whatever they had would not have exploded because of the way they were packed and everything. So that I think we're going to find out in our book from
But dead weight. Yeah. I think I read that someplace too, that they said they kept telling people there were 2 torpedoes, but there was only one. And
yeah, that's what they say. Well, because there was 2 explosions, I guess.
yeah. And the other thing too about the way the liners were built, the Lusitania was originally built because they wanted to make it so it could transfer over to a warship if it needed to. And when they built Lusitania and another one that is sister ship, and the hulls and things were a lot stronger than they should have been. This may have been Miss Baby in the Dead Wake book. But they said, and also that they could, so they can convert them into a battleship if they needed to. And the coal, I had no idea they use that much coal, but they burned a lot of coal for the boilers and things. They made the coal compartments along the outside of the ship to protect the hull, and that's where the coal was stored. And then if something would hit it, then the coal would stop the torpedo or the whatever that was. They were thinking that would be a security blanket for them, but didn't quite work for this one.
Yeah, they were wrong.
Was the title of the book from a description of the ocean right before that torpedo came? I couldn't remember. Because I never figured out where the title came from, Glass Ocean.
The glass, oh, yes, I don't know. That's a good question. They didn't answer that one when the author got interviewed. Why do you think they called that the Glass Ocean?
It sort of goes with dead wake, doesn't it?
Ah.
You know, like smooth.
I thought maybe I missed it when they were describing how clear and calm it was when the torpedo was about to hit them.
Yeah, maybe
That the
that,
ocean was like glass then or something. I just couldn't find it.
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't know, but I do remember that description of when, who was it, spotted the periscope from the submarine. One of the
One
girls.
of the sisters, yeah.
Yeah, one of the,
The sister and then the sister-in-law.
yeah. Oh, those two. Yes,
'Cause
yes.
they truly were helping out with this espionage thing.
Oh, that's right. One of them turned out to be undercover or something, was it? Perhaps. Yeah.
Marjorie, yeah.
He was
He
trying
was
to
a good guy.
he was trying to get the transcript or the Strauss waltz, because she just kept
Yes.
trying to
For the
get
Germans.
Carolyn to come
Bring
on,
it.
play it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'll put
yeah.
words to it.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that part too. Another undercover person. Yeah. But yeah. So interesting. I'm not sure who all the good guys and the bad guys were. We should have had a sign. Put them on either different sides. But
We could also add what we think if John's, well, it would be Robert's dad was a good guy, or he got entrapped in all this, or just exactly what we think about him and his role in all this stuff.
there were a lot of questions that came up that didn't all
I
get
think, wasn't it leaving it as a mystery? Did he commit suicide because his second son died? Or was it because they found out that he was possibly gay? And they were going to blackmail him.
That's-
So
It sounded like they were doing something with the Germans who were doing the blackmailing.
Mhm. To make,
and
yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that
It
blackmail.
led you to believe though he knew the ship was going down.
yeah, because he tried
right,
to,
because he knew and he didn't contact the captain.
Yeah, he
did he-
contacted, told his son to be safe, but he didn't, yeah. And he
didn't do
told
it.
his son not to take the ship to begin with, so.
Right,
Yeah.
but I think what they said, something about he could have contacted the captain, at least there would have
Yeah.
been some awareness, and he did not do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Sounds like the capital.
You just never know. You never know. Oh, golly. So, I guess one of the other questions was, would you have ended it differently? Were you satisfied with the way things turned out for the heroines? And
Yeah.
would you have ended it differently? But I see Anne is back, so. Were you satisfied with the ending? We could just say that.
Good ending.
I was good.
I like it. I got the answer to my question, which was who got whom? Which
Yeah.
girl got which boy?
John and Sarah.
Yeah, well, those were the good ones. Yeah, yeah. But and then this other question I wasn't sure about. Sarah says, we're all looking for something, aren't we? Every last one of us is looking in vain for something we've lost. Was this true for the characters in the novel? And which ones found what they were looking for and which were disappointed? Well, then you'd have to go back and find out what everybody was looking for. What was Tess looking for?
Robert.
Oh, but I think it's more basic. I mean, think of her childhood and all the stuff she had to do and how she finally broke loose from that. So she kind of found her own integrity, I would think.
Right, she wanted this to be the last time.
I
that
was
she
just gonna
did
say that was gonna be the last and then out. Yeah.
Right.
Right, because she wanted a normal life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what
Carolyn-
about her
okay.
though? What was Jones looking for, her, the Tessa's sister?
Oh, the next, she wanted
Money,
Money, yeah.
furs, jewels, and the big one.
Yeah,
Fur.
Didn't you like that she went down with the fur coat and all the jewels? She was so heavy.
Probably.
They didn't
I
say
didn't-
Ruth.
They just said she probably did. Well, then.
Okay.
And what about Carolyn? What was she looking for? She was confused, I thought. What did she?
She wanted some respect.
Aha.
I mean, I don't think she ever got it, but I
And
feel
I-
like she wanted some sense of self.
Right, she wanted to share Gilbert's all the problems that he was shouldering, and he never would.
Yeah.
And he always treated her like she was a very fine object, and he didn't want to upset her or do anything that would, he was just trying to take care of her, and she, I think, resented that.
She
wanted to know what was going on.
she wanted intimacy in all ways with him, and she didn't get it at all.
Well, and when he did, he apologized, and it really made her mad. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So she was right in wanting to be part of his life. He just didn't see that. Do you think he would have changed? Because he kept promising that things would be different once the cruise was over.
all those negatives.
I don't
They
think
just
so.
don't know. Andy.
It was a good try, but I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Well, why did she why did she go back when she had choices at the end? She had choices at the end, but she chose to go back to America. And why was that? Because she could have chosen somebody else, perhaps. No?
I was thinking more of when Robert said that she was going back on another ship, I was like, oh, I don't think I'd get on another ship
I
for
thought
another
that
ship.
very same thing. It's like, why would you hop on a ship after that just happened?
Yeah.
I thought that very same thing.
Yeah, I wonder why they would do that. I don't think so either. Yeah. That was very, very scary. Yeah. But I don't know. It sounds like Carolyn was maybe the more I don't know that we talked about her more. But
But
I think
she was raised to be a very strong woman, even though, Gilbert kept treating her like she was a little, flower or whatever. But, her mother, what was it, said something about she needed to have a steel spine or something. And her mother taught her all these things and how to be, but she was pretty independent and she seemed very smart and talented. So I think that was a problem with her husband, that he didn't see that in her.
well, he was marrying us. He was from a different class too. Remember, he really was not of her class, and that was a different situation for him. And that he felt a little, I think, intimidated by her status, and maybe not good enough for her. So, but still.
Do you think he had any reservations because he was doing secret things like with his formula and probably maybe wasn't the one who got these ammunitions snuck on board, and he was supposed to be a spy who was protecting somebody, and I thought maybe he, in that regard, he wouldn't want to tell her stuff like that, and maybe he was just trying to put her aside. But you guys think it was even a more general thing?
I think, I'll buy that if you're doing undercover work, you don't want to share that really with anybody. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
because that just puts them at risk for inadvertently spilling the beans. But he, to me, was not capable of intimacy at any level before or after. So, and I think that was definitely missing for her.
So why'd she pick him in the end?
He was handsome.
And she loved him, but it was
Yeah, she loved
interesting
him. She loved him.
because he was very talented in what he was in the steel business or whatever, and he became ultra rich. He wasn't the old rich, and that was the problem, is that he couldn't get over that. You know, that last party they had before they boarded the ship the next day, is he wanted to meet all these wealthy people and to let them know, look, I'm important too. And I think that was a little bit of not very much self-confidence, even though he had lots of money and he was very successful.
He still wasn't in with the big guys. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't the old money, right?
He wasn't accepted because they were the originals. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was or not, but he certainly was trying to make himself accepted.
Right.
That's why he had the party, I thought, was to ingratiate himself with all these wealthy people.
Yeah. To impress them all.
You know what I think is interesting about this book is that it talks a lot about class and where you are in the class level, and it seems like that, oh well, we don't have that class standard anymore, but we actually do, and it's almost worse than ever. I mean, maybe we're not wearing the big gowns and all the jewels, but the parallel is interesting between this story and what's happening right now in the world in the US and the struggle for the different classes.
And two things. Do you remember right at the beginning, the first chapter is the author is the book author is going to do a book reading or a meeting.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, talk about class there. I mean, they put her down so royally.
Yeah.
You know, just, and they're not even aware of it. They absolutely, you know, that's just who they are, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually have a hard time with that whole class thing. It seems to me if you have your needs met and you have some friends, why do you have to go to the next level to get happiness? I just don't relate. The next level economically or socially. I mean,
and so unconscious of their class. I mean, maybe paint this antique chair silver, but then none of them had the book. None of them had paid for the book. They all shared a pirated copy.
Mm-hmm. Right. And there was one point I wanted to know if any of you others noticed that how Sarah was always hungry. She was really hungry when she went to that book meeting. Yeah. She's always hungry when she's with this John. And I keep thinking, wow, she's one hungry little girl. She needs to eat more.
Well, she was trying to save her money I mean, part of it was because she hadn't eat. I mean, you know, yeah, but you're right.
Yeah, they didn't care about how, you know, they were not being very nice to her.
No, well, and so it painted a bad picture for rich people.
Yeah. Well, the book club scene, the authors actually were asked that question and said, what about the book club scene? The opening scene in the book is based on a true incident that they knew a friend of theirs was in that similar situation.
Oh, no.
They said the best-selling author, Allison Richmond's experience. I didn't look that up though. All of us want to say no to book piracy. So that was something they were trying to put in there. When we told her about writing in that scene, she reminded us that it was her story. So we offloaded our author gripes into the story. Yeah. But wouldn't that be awesome?
And that put me on alert. And you can help me. Overdrive goes through the library, right? And they pay for the books.
Yes.
What about Libby? Because I'm using Libby. Am I pirating and don't know it?
I think Libby's through the library too, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
What about that 9-cent thing on that I bought Shirley Levitt's book? I felt really bad about that because I thought, this isn't right. Why is it 99 cents?
They just do that for sales once in a while to boost
Yeah.
sales. It's not 99 cents anymore. Because that
Oh,
was on
no.
Barnes and Nobles.
Oh, Barnes and Noble, yeah. But I saw it and it, for some reason it popped up and I thought, oh, I'll get that too. And I thought, maybe I shouldn't.
I
But-
think it's a marketing tactic to some
Oh, okay.
to some points. But there are pirated sites out there for
Oh,
sure.
she's leaving. Oh, Sally's leaving.
I gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye, Sally.
later. Don't forget your assignment.
You know, the North Fort Myers Library, I don't know if, I never noticed if it's in Wisconsin, but on the date due slip, it shows how much money you've saved by checking out this book.
Oh,
They show that on our slips now at the bottom, or how much money you're saving.
Oh,
Do
does
they?
it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're trying to promote libraries.
Yeah.
well,
Or
that's a good.
Thing.
increased contributions or something.
Huh. Well, does anybody have any other comments or any questions that we can or cannot answer? I don't know.
Well, I printed out a review and their last question said, this book brings up the question of, is the truth best uncovered? Should things sometimes be left in the past? What do you believe? I thought that was interesting.
Well, what do you think about that? Should we know everything?
I like to know everything.
Well, I guess it depends.
I guess it depends,
Right.
yeah.
The truth usually comes out.
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, any other questions or info? I guess we can, say goodbye.
Thanks, Nancy. This was fun.
Oh, yeah.